And a very, very good morning to you. Let's go ahead and close OBS. But hello, welcome. Today is Monday, May 26th, 2025, and it is Memorial Day, 3 day weekend. This, of course, is the third day of that weekend. So, pretty excited. Honestly, I think we need to move to a 4 day work week or a 2 day work week, as Bill Gates said. Apparently, didn't Bill Gates make some comment recently how because of AI, we're going to have 2 day work weeks? Bill Gates 2 day work week. Yeah, Bill Gates says that a 2 day work week is coming in just 10 years. Thanks to AI replacing humans for most. But you know what I see, like in a hyper capitalist society like we kind of have, I see that being like 2 days being sufficient to survive. I don't see 2 days being the norm, right? I see, or maybe the norm, but I definitely think if that is the case, you're going to have a situation where people work for 2 days and then they they work for 2 days, but then you're going to have other people that are willing to work 5, 6, 7 days, and those people are going to excel and then surpass those who just, well, it's only a 2 day work week. I don't have to work. So it's I think that's I think it's going to create more of a surf class kind of, but back in like the original like surf class days, so to speak, didn't they work like nonstop, like 7 days a week? So if you think about it, if you're going to be in a surf class but you're only working two days a week, it's not terrible. But then again, like I said, you're going to have people that come in, they're going to excel in that environment. But anyway, enough of that talk. um, hmm, Yesterday I did not really have a chance to work on the game. After that, I had other stuff I needed to do. But I started looking at something last night, a little bit before bed, though I didn't really have time to implement it. So what I have here is I have the beginnings of another game here in the background. And oh, it's running. That's why I'm like, my CPU is like going crazy, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with my CPU? It's just the spans just, but the game is running. But if you look, so where is the sun? There it is. Now there is jumpiness, but that's a camera jumpiness. That's on the player object. That's not with the sun script. I think what we're gonna do is I think we might remove the perpetual nighttime from our game and then incorporate this. So let me open up another version of Unity. I think I need Unity Hub, but Unity Hub also takes up a ton of freaking like resources. Like up here on the battery icon, I don't know if it does it right away, but it always says Unity. There it is, Unity Hub popping into the most needy of the needy, so to speak. Let me make sure the stream is working, and let me make sure OBS is doing what I think OBS is doing. Good. I think we're good there. Okay. I think we're good. I think it's just I started a little early, and so I'm like, well, where is everybody? Like normally I have at least one or two people in here by now. No, but it's I started at 7 o'clock on the third day of a 3 day weekend. So okay, I want to so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the skybox that we have from the game we've been working on, and we're going to try and incorporate this sun, because eventually I want to have stars, and I want to have, like, I want to do it all, right? Let's just be honest, I want to do it all. I want to do everything in this game. This game is going to be GTA meets City Skylines meets Unreal Tournament meets Flight Simulator. Like, I don't know what that means. I'm just naming off a bunch of games that I like, and that's what this game is going to be. Okay, so we have this nice environmental tab. Let's go ahead and get that. Um, we have the terrain. We have the rock formation, the veg. The one I think we need to get rid of is the directional light. My concern. Let me close this. My concern is that we have set some environmental stuff already, and I'm not 100% sure where that environmental stuff needs to be undone in this project and then redone. But you know, and of course we're working hardcore here. We're gonna, let me see. We're working on a branch, and I was working on Squirrels are making some weird noises. Like shit is like, you know, it's early, so there's animals that are going to sleep. There's animals that are waking up, and so there's a lot of ruckus all about. There's just because you know there's woods over here, and it's just a lot of ruckus. That's the best way to put it. All the animals are just up to no good. Um, Maybe we save this. I have a feeling there's going to be a merge conflict. That's my hesitation here. Um, hmm. When I go to merge game Unity, if I change game Unity, there's going to be like that's my hesitation. I feel like I'm just going to do it in the same branch. Fuck it, we'll do it in the same branch. Okay, so I'm going to check this in. Working on improving the behavior. I sounded it out so explicitly, but I still spelled it wrong. Behavior. Behavior. I was trying to spell it like the English spell it. Working on improving the behavior of the NPC patrol dudes. All right. So I'm not even going to push that right now. So we're kind of in a. We're just going to stick to this branch. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to this branch. Okay. Let me go ahead. So I want to see what in this other environment I need to pull out and then put into our environment to get the revolution. So I know that there's a sun script here, which I believe is attached to a big light. But I have a skybox, so let's look and see what rendering light. I'm curious to see what its settings are. So we have sun source none, default skybox material with no fog or anything. So let's and actually I can drag that over to this other screen, this other monitor that you guys can't see, but I'm going to put it over there just so I can refer to it easily. Now this is going to break some stuff. It's going to look bad. Okay, so wait, I'm going to keep doing that. So let me drag this over here. Can I not? Okay, whatever. Okay. So I want my environmental to look the same. So it's going to be lighting, environment, and then okay, so we are going to have no sun source. What was it before? Directional light. Interesting. Okay. No, wait, I got completely turned around. Okay. Let's see. Okay. What am I doing? Okay, window, rendering, lighting. That's ultimately what I want. So I want. I see. I understand. I understand why I'm getting confused now. Okay, so we're going to go with directional light. We're going to go with cold night equi. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go to default skybox. Yeah, I think it's probably this. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that my settings for the current game are the exact same as this one. Now, I'm not too concerned with the shadow color, skybox, intensity multiplier. Everything else looks mostly the same. And the stuff that's not exactly the same, I'm not convinced that it's entirely crucial. Okay. So we have that. Perfect. Okay, I just want to... It makes me nervous that there's no save or apply button. It just does it. Okay, so we've gotten rid of the sky. Okay, and this makes sense. So what we want to do now, is we want to, maybe we want to modify this directional light. Well, let's actually bring the script in. Oh, we gotta, what is this null here? We're gonna have to fix a few things. Everything's a mess right now. It's all a mess. Okay, I don't know what this error is, so we're going to ignore it, and we're gonna hope it goes away. So here's directional light, and then in the other project, I have this one here. So we're going to work with this. I'm going to rename it sun just to help me. It might not actually be representative of the sun, but I'm going to rename it that just to help me. Apparently I'm not going to rename it. Why can I not rename it? Rename. There it goes. Sun. Okay. And I want to make sure that the sun looks very similar to this one. Okay, so we go over here, we go to properties. And now we're going to go back. Here we go. I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so we have sun, sun. Okay, so the one on the left is what I want. Okay. I'm going, as far as the transform is concerned, I'm not convinced that I need to, but I'm going to. Right? Does that make sense? All right. So let's see. Okay. The one on the left is what I want. The one on the right is what I have. So we have sun, 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 0, 3, 0, 50. I'm just making it. I know that these numbers probably aren't super crucial, but I'm still making it the same. Okay. Light. Directional. Mode. Real time. Why is my light different than their light? Like this is a lot different. So the one on the left was from an older version of Unity, and then I imported it and converted it to the current version of Unity, right? So, well, let's get the script where it needs to be. Let's do that. It's probably under scripts, sun cycle. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. Okay. And then hopefully Unity will pick it up. There it goes. Okay. It's doing its thing. Okay. Unity picked it up, which is good. Move this over here. Actually, I'll just do this. Ow. Okay, this one doesn't have. Okay, so what I'm gonna do. Okay, wait. I'm getting confused. I know this is just riveting. This is a riveting stream, but it's all right. Talking about Bill Gates. I'm just gonna close some of this stuff. Oh, I was trying to edit a video earlier. Okay, I'm just trying to get a grasp on what's going on because there's a lot going on right now. Okay, so we have that, which I think is the old sun. And then we should have okay. Oh, that's the old. Okay, well, let's just do it inside the IDEs. Less of a chance for getting entirely confused as to what I want to do. All right, we'll just put the ID. I don't have a lot of screen space, so that's part of the problem. All right, so the one on the left is definitely much different than the one on the right, but maybe that's okay. I'm not sure why that would be, But I think as long as most things are the same, I think it'll be okay. The one thing I do need to do is I need to go to scripts, and then the sun cycle script I need to attach to this. Now, day duration, directional light, sun color. Okay, so we have that. So we have a duration of 60 by default. I'm going to set the duration to 5 because I want to make sure it works. Directional light, so that's the sun. So this is literally the thing it's attached to. Okay, and then we have the color, which I'm going to when I travel a lot. Like I'm not, and I get to these new places, these new Airbnbs, and first of all, if they don't have a lamp, I'm already like, ugh. Like I hate overhead lights. I cannot stand overhead lights, and that's actually one of the few things I have in common with my mother. Is like we just cannot stand overhead lights. Lamps all day, every day. Well, not all day, but lamps will take the cake every day. But so I go to these new places, especially this happens a lot in like Latin America and in Africa too, is they have these harsh white light bulbs. They're just this, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just pure white light bulb. And like you gotta have like a soft light bulb. You look at the sun, which you should not do. Don't look at the sun. But the sun, it's yellow. It's not white. And but so that's what I want for my light bulbs. I want something similar. I want like a similar shade to my light bulb. But oh my God, you walk into these apartments and it's just you turn the light on and it's just like a bright mass. It's like, am I dying because I'm seeing the light? Like, oh, it's terrible. Okay, I got sidetracked there. Okay, sun color. That's odd. Let's make the sun green. The sun is going to put off a green color. For now. I think my mother's finally awake. All right, let's see. There. Okay. Now I don't know. Let's see if this works. I mean, this may just work as is. I don't know.
Freeze! You're under arrest.
I think it's working. Okay. So now, okay, that looks great. I mean, that was pretty easy to do. I think so. Now we have to talk about the duration cycle. I'm like, let's see. I'm going to ask Rock, and I'm going to ask about my what is this? Oh, there's a video I thought maybe we could watch on stream later on when there's a few more people here. But I'm going to ask Rock about how. Let's see. No, I don't want fucking notifications for. Hello, dogcrates.com wants to send you notifications, and no, I don't want your fucking notifications. Like, anyway, in a game like GTA 5, how long is a single day? 48 minutes. That seems long. Okay. What about in Red? What is it? Is it Red Dead Redemption? Redemption? Red Dead Redemption 2. Probably similar. Minutes. Okay. But we're not Grand Theft Auto. We're more like, okay, we're not like anything right now. But what other games do I want to take inspiration from? Maybe that's what I want to say. What about Schedule? I think in Schedule 1 the days are only like 10 minutes long. I'm thinking 12 and a half minutes. I don't know why, but the number 12 and a half is like, it's like there, like for something. is not explicitly detailed and available. However, based on gameplay descriptions, Cycle appears to be tied to real-time progress. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Do your best to calculate an average for games that, the average length of day for games that have a day-night cycle. I'm curious to see what AI comes up with. So it's got a bunch of games. Legend of Zelda, 24 minutes. Elder Scrolls, 72 minutes. Fallout. Assassin's Creed. Calculating including Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, 24 real-world hours as the game uses a 1-to-1 real-time cycle. Wow. Okay, the average length of an in-game day for games with day-night cycles based on representative sample of popular titles is approximately 53 minutes, rounded up. When excluding real-time outliers, it appears to be 48, 72 minutes. Okay, so ours for now is going to be 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We'll do 5 minutes because if we're testing, we want to be able to see things changing, right? Obviously, we're not going to go to green. What is a good color hex code to use for the sun? And I'm going to capitalize the S because the sun deserves respect. Okay, FFC107. Can I? What is this? I don't want to edit the gradient. I want to. Okay, here's what I want. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's look at that.
Freeze! You are under arrest.
It's a little golden, right? That's like a little too golden. Let's make it a little whiter. Well, let's look at this. I mean, that's better because you still want that to look like snow, right? So you definitely want it to look white. How do I get back to the thingy? But you don't want it to be like bright, like in your face, like this is a white sun. Okay, so here's the night cycle coming. It's gonna be nighttime soon. So again, we're using a cycle of, what is it, 5 minutes? The whole cycle of the sun. Although it seems like it's gonna take. It seems like a little quicker, but I'm gonna trust that the computer knows how to do math. I think this is a good color. I think we'll stick with this color. I think this is good. I just want to go close that box. Okay. Oh, it's closed, I guess. Okay. So I think this is a good checkpoint as well. So we can check this in. Like, yeah. So this is why I didn't want to do this on another branch, because I knew I would have to modify game.unity. And that is just, if Matthew gets here, I would love, and apparently he's a professional game developer. So I would love to know how his team handles that. Like when I asked how they handle being able to merge these .unity files, because they are text files. So to some extent, you can kind of look over them, but they're not very human readable, like unless you really, really know what you're doing. So I would be curious to see how like a professional game studio would manage trying to merge .unity files. I remember asking AI this a couple of months ago, and AI was basically like, well, we don't always, like, a lot of game studios, one person will work on one scene, another person will work on another scene. I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. Okay, somebody's texting me. Let me mute that, see who this is. That's my wife. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that later. No, so I guess a few weeks ago there was a incident. We'll put it. There was an incident between some people and some law enforcement, and I guess there's my wife sending me a link about it because it was not that far from where we live. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and merge this, or not merge. Let's go ahead and push this. Okay. Adding a day-night sun cycle. I think the fan on my computer is going crazy. I think that's probably because I have the game running. Okay. And we're going to push these changes. So also, we can. We'll worry about a skybox later, I think. I mean, I would love to have clouds and stars and like have the whole thing rotate like you would expect, but but we'll get to that later. Um, and then one of the reasons also, maybe we'll up this to 12. What would 12 be? 12 6 2 12 7 2 12 and a half 7 7 2 7 5 75 is 7,500. That doesn't seem right. Or is it 700 500? That seems more like it. I'm trying to get 12 and a half minutes. Yeah, I think that's it. Right. Yes, 750. Okay. And that is, so for whatever reason, 12 and a half minutes keeps coming to mind as to how long this game should be. Or I'm sorry, how long a day in the day-night cycle. It's still so. Oh, I changed it. I didn't change it. I changed it in runtime. I'm gonna change it. It's just way too yellow. I don't want it orange. That's almost like a lime. I mean, I guess the sun does have like an orange tint to it, right? Like a orange. It's mostly yellow, but maybe there's a slight orange in there. I don't know. Chat, let me know what you think.
You're under arrest.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do this again, but this time let's actually be smart about it. This time I'll be smart about it. I want to look at I want to adjust the color while I'm looking at the scene. Okay, give me that. Oh God, I need to lose focus of the main screen. Okay, it's not letting me. If I do it over here. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay, so I need to go to sun. I need to go to here. Something that's not so yellow. Okay, now I can't pick a color at all. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. More yellow. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I think this is good. Maybe slightly more white. Okay. Where did my other window go? Ugh, alright. Let me see, come over here. Just slightly more. Not a lot. just slightly. So if we want to go to white, so we can actually let's change this to D. Change this B to C, and then change this A to B. Okay, I think that's good. So this is the color. Let me copy and paste it, or copy it. Okay, now we'll just go back here, and then we'll just paste it into the color field. Well, we gotta go select it. Okay, I think that's good. I would like to know what all the what this does. Did I just mess up the color? I did. Okay, let's just go back. Okay, that's perfect. I have no idea what this does. I like this mode and this location. I have no idea what those things do. Okay. All right, so we fixed the color. We've increased it. We've increased the day-night cycle to 12.5 minutes. I don't know that I have to check this in. R.L. Dunham says, do you have a full-time job? Yes, I have a full-time job. I work the fry station at Wendy's. And Comet E, I've returned. I believe I remember you, but here's the problem, Comet. Like, I think I remember you, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm just making that memory up, right? Like, does it ever happen to you where like somebody asks you something, I'm like, and you're like, yeah, I think I remember that, but I can't tell if I genuinely remember that or if I'm making it up that I remember that. And that's the case with you, Comet. And he says MacBook. Yes, I am not at home. So I am at my mother's house because she had a surgery actually I guess it was a week ago today, and so I am being a good son and basically just kind of hanging out with my mom and taking care of her while she heals. Though my duty is up tomorrow as one of my sisters is arriving to kind of take over for the next couple of days. But she's actually much better. She's actually, I mean, like the day she got the hip surgery. She was up and walking around, which I was surprised. I was like, wow, okay, well, maybe people recover very quickly from those hip surgeries. So, I don't know. But she seems to be doing really well, although I haven't seen her today. Comment says, I was talking about GPUs in your chat, and I was the guy who got confused about the mobile and desktop streams. Okay, yeah, I think I remember you. And I think it's a genuine memory, too. Since I'm at my mother's house, I'm only streaming to YouTube right now. I'm only doing to the desktop stream. I'm only streaming one stream to YouTube right now because her internet, boomers. Like boomers, do boomers really need high-speed internet? Like, what's a boomer going to do? So so I'm working with what I got. But it's a cell connection. It's actually a cell, like a mobile. T-Mobile, I think, is what she has, is her carrier. It does decent. It's not bad. Could it be better? Yeah, but it's not bad. All right, I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go actually check on my mother. I'm going to get something. I just finished my bottle, and instead of having another bottle, I'm going to get a can because I'm addicted. I am such an addict. So let me go check on my mother. Let me go use the bathroom. And then I'll be back. And while I am gone, what I will do is I will play a video from my travel channel. All right? Wouldn't you guys love that? Oh, I think you guys would love it. Let me make sure. Okay. Oh, no, that's my Twitter. No. YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Addy Goes Places. That's my travel channel. Okay, so I'm going to go check on my mother, and let's see. Yes, we'll start with the latest video. Hope you guys enjoy this. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right.
Mountains meet Arctic charm. We'll
I'll start it over. I'll start it over properly. All right, but I need to do this. All right, guys. I'll be right back.
In this video, I arrive in the far north of northern Norway, where rugged mountains meet Arctic charm. We'll ride alongside a true Narvik local. We'll explore the local yoker and unravel the quirky mystery of why canned veggies outprice their frozen counterparts. And dive into the basics of Norwegian with a cheerful "En påsen takk." Buckle up for a journey packed with culture, curiosity, and a touch of Nordic magic as we set our sights on Narvik, Norway.
Thursday, January 2nd, 2024. Currently, we're still in Oslo, Norway, waiting for an Uber to come pick us up. Abderhiram Mahmoud is on his way to come pick us up. It's about a 30-minute ride down or up to the Oslo airport, the main Oslo airport. And then my wife here, she'll be going home. She'll be going back to see the dog and the cat, away from her husband. And as you can tell by the look on her face, she's very upset that she's not going to be with me. She's very sad. So, and then I, of course, am going to head up to Narvik. Right now, it is a nice chilly day. It's like probably the low to mid 20s. So it's got that bite. It's got a little bit of bite, but it's not like uncomfortably bitey, if that's a word. So it's not this car right here, but we believe it's the one behind him. Hello? Is he moving? Don't cancel. Okay, now he's moving. He's definitely moving now. All right. Oh, man. It's a little nerve-wracking because, you know, we're catching a flight. Don't have time for a lot of delays. This guy, meanwhile, okay, he's got a bike there. But this guy is really, he's driving like a granny. Hello? All right, so we're in the car on the way to the airport. Gotta put my belt on. Going in. I lost my phone. Oh my God.
You didn't put in your bag? You want me to call you?
Yeah, I don't think it's on now. You want to talk about a heart attack? Oh my God. Freaked out for about 15, 20 minutes there because I thought I had left my phone in the Uber that brought me here. And my wife, she had to go check in, do her thing. And so I'm sitting there trying to get in touch with the Uber driver, but I don't have a phone. And then they're like, well, call the Uber driver. I'm like, but I don't have a phone. So I spoke to this very nice Norwegian woman who called on my behalf, but the driver didn't find the phone. I went outside and looked all around. And then I decided I should look in my book bag. And that's where I found my phone. I'm really bad at this YouTube thing. So I just said goodbye to my wife. And I wanted to get it on tape. On tape? How old am I? I wanted to get it on video because I wanted to have like this thing of us parting ways and then in a month reuniting in Longyearbyen. But I'm not very good at this YouTube thing. We are about 40 minutes into the flight, and you can kind of see that the sun is starting to set in about.
All right, boys. I'm back.
30.
I'm back, boys.
Typical night in Narvik.
The audio was doubled? Was it?
This is what I wanted, so here we go. I think we're landing in Narvik.
Yeah, I think it was probably doubled because I sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I think it was probably doubled because I had the yeah, I needed to mute the mic is what I needed to do. So anyway, all right. Let's get back to it. Thank you, Comet. No, I went in, checked on my mother. I made it, I was talking about this yesterday. Like, I asked her to make, when she gets a chance and when she's up, I was like, hey, if you could make some scrambled eggs, I would love to have some of your scrambled eggs because I can make scrambled eggs. But when you grow up with your mother, your father, your whoever's, you grow up to a certain kind of cooking, and it just always tastes so good. It tastes so good. Like my mom, when she makes these like potatoes and some sausage and some scrambled eggs with a little like red pepper, and like she just puts the right amount of salt and pepper in it, and so good, so good. But of course, she has a hip replacement, so she's in there getting high on oxy, legally. She literally had like. I was talking about this too. Like I don't know if you comment if you know anything about hip replacements, what they do, but they, you know how you have that ball that kind of sticks into your hip like this. They basically take that out, they create a new one, right? So they create a new one, and this stem that comes off the ball is kind of like a needle, like a really big needle, kind of goes down, and then they shove it into your femur, and it's wild. It's wild. It looks very violent, but no, but my mom's recovering well, but I still have to be a good son, and help take care of her. This is the woman who gave me life, but I swear to God, it is, oh my God, the patience. No, I don't even want to get into it. It's just like, I have none. I just have no patience when it comes. There's these women, in my life, and the only one I kind of have patience for is my daughter. But my wife, my mother, like, they're just like, I have so little patience. Okay. All right. This is not a therapy session, Addie. Comment says, I don't know anything about hips. Sorry. Nah, you're fine. Wait, you're not a hip doctor? Is there such thing? No, you're fine, Comment. Okay. So we got that squared away, right? So we have a day-night cycle that I just kind of shoehorned in the middle of this other PR for no particular reason. All right.
Please.
I think it looks good. It still looks a little too yellow, but I think we're going, we can always revisit that. So this is what I want to work on. Like, you see how close he gets? Like, he's following me, which is great. But I have a stop distance, and it's almost like what is happening is he's like, I'll show you the stop distance where, right here. This, so rigid body. No, he's in the script. He will have stop distance of 5. So what that means is he's walking towards you. He's walking towards you because this is a follow script. He's following, and then as soon as he stops, or I'm sorry, as soon as I want him to stop at about 5 meters away. What seems to be happening is he's walking so fast that when the program does that check to say, okay, am I within the stop distance, he's already gotten so far, which would make sense if he was like running, right? If he was running, it would make sense that that check for the stop distance might come at a point where he's very close to the player. That makes sense, but he's not walking particularly far, right? Comment says, oh, it's progressed quite a lot since I was last here. Yeah, dude. Like, here, let me show you something else that we added recently. Comment. Oh, it's under items. Here, I'm going to, well, first let me focus on the player, which is top. I don't know why I always have trouble. And I'm going to put right behind him, I'm going to put a rusty knife. Let's put that there. Oh, yeah, I gotta actually put the prefab on there. Okay, so we'll put that here, and then let's make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. So that's a little too big. Let's make it 6. Yeah, 6. Okay. So what you can do now, you can wait as it loads. Come on.
Please. You are under
Okay,
arrest.
so here's the knife. I can pick it up with a shortcut. All right, boy. Oh, apparently I dropped the knife. That's very weird. Maybe I hit the wrong key. But here, watch this. Die. You died. And now, eventually, he's dead. And he'll disappear before our eyes like he never existed. Unless there's... Okay, good. It did work. Boom. Boom. Okay. So... Anyway, I just want to show off. But I need to understand why he is not walking... Or, like, why he is walking so much. Or getting so close. So let's do this. Let's try... All right, I'm going to delete the knife. We don't need it, and I'll forget about it too. I forgot what I wanted to do. Let me see. Override, send NPC. I knew he's the NPC patrolman. Okay. So what I want to do is okay, let me place the player a little further away. But far enough so that the UI should still see him, right? So let's see. I wish there was. I still struggle to find a way to have it snap to the terrain. Like I still struggle. Like people are like, oh well, you hold down V or Command Shift and all this. Excuse me, it never works. Okay, it looked like it kind of worked there. So okay, we're just gonna forget that I ever said that. All right, come over here. Oh. Ooh, I feel really weird.
Freeze! You're under arrest.
Okay, see how close he gets, and like that stop distance is. I mean, okay. Well, let's try increasing the stop distance just to see what happens. 7.5, because it feels like a bug. Like the green guy doesn't. Does the green guy do it? Let's go look at the green guy. And for some reason, this computer has gotten slow. It seems like it's taken a vacation from
Freeze!
Memorial Day.
You're under
Okay,
arrest.
let me get my bearings straight. Here he is. Come on. Okay. I guess he does get a little close. Let's see. Okay, well, what about the patrolman? He's just stuck. This is going to be a nice, quiet ASMR type video.
You're under
Okay, so
arrest.
he comes over here. See, he stopped at a regular distance there. Did I increase it? I must have increased it. Yeah, I did. 7.5. No, 20 and 7.5. Okay, I can say the same. Whoa, boys, I feel like I'm... Wow. I feel really lightheaded. Like like that's weird. Like I feel super lightheaded. I might go lay down in a minute. I wanted to do a nice long stream, but wow, I feel really weird. Okay, let's back the player up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, he doesn't detect me.
Freeze! You're under arrest.
I'll find you!
You're under arrest.
Oh, but he's not chasing me. He's not pursuing me, I should say. That's weird. This is where having the bubble over his head to see his state would really help. Comment says he's going to be right back. All right, we'll be here, man. We'll be here waiting for you. So having that state that just floats above his head, I think that would be really useful. Because it's getting to be a pain in the ass. Because I don't understand why he didn't chase me. Let me see. Okay.
Freeze! You're under arrest.
But he's not coming to me. The only thing I changed was like the stop distance. Let's see. And then detection distance. Let's look at the source code. See what. I feel out of it. Wow. Strange. Okay. So now he's not following is what I was getting at. So this here, what is this? This is a prefab instance. Oh, maybe of the knife? No. The knife, I wish it would tell you. Target property. Okay, so the day duration, we can commit that. And this is, yeah. Can you hear the birds? Chat, can you hear the birds? Like they're going at it. Now I can't tell if they're fighting or making other birds. Honestly, I don't even know how they're out. Okay, never mind. Yeah, the birds they do their business. And then the female gets pregnant and lays a fertilized egg. Okay, I don't know why I'm overcomplicating things. It's because I feel like I'm having a stroke right now. Like literally, like I feel vertigo. Wait, can I smile? My ex-girlfriend used to do that all the time. Like if I felt lightheaded or something, she'd be like, well, smile. I want to make sure you don't have a stroke. And she's like, oh, that's weird. Only one side of your face is working. I'm like, ugh. Okay, here. Let me get my hat. Okay, let me, because I'm going to test my smile, but I want to make sure that I look proper in my smile for you guys. Okay. And, I'm going to look good for you because I know that the people that are here, they're not here just to see me programming. They're here. They want to see more than programming. That's what I can say. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. So no stroke. That is confirmed. Okay. I don't know what these changes are. This chunk here is referencing this chunk here. Let's do this. Let's stash, which basically it doesn't commit the code to your source repository. It just stashes it. It puts it aside, and then you can always bring it back later. Let me see. So Unity is going to reload, of course. The patrolman is there. Where's player? Oh, player's there too. Huh. Raj, can you explain your game project in the single sentence? It's in the title. It's like literally in the title. A survival horror game written in Unity in C#. If you want more details, check out the description of this stream. And then in the description of the stream, you'll be able to find details about this project. And Comet says he's back. Glad you're back, man. Missed you. You missed a lot. It was freaking crazy while you were gone. I really feel like something is really weird. Like something is going wrong with my head right now. Like, can you guys do ear rumbling? Chat, do you ever, there's an entire subreddit dedicated to ear rumbling. And it's like right now, every time I speak, I'm ear rumbling. I don't know. Oh man, what is going on? All I had was, I had some potatoes. I ate some potatoes when I went inside. And then I forgot to use the bathroom. Oh, I hear my mother. Okay, that's good, guys. My mom's coming. All right, just, I'm a 50-year-old man saying like, all right, guys, you got to calm down. My mom's coming. I don't want to get in trouble with my mom. Okay. Let's see. I'll do this. Are you okay?
Yeah, but I'm going to shut that door. It's kind of cold in here.
All right, I'll shut it.
Freeze! You are under arrest.
You need something? All right. I can do it now if you want. All right, let's. All right, guys, I got to make an ice pack for my mother. Give me a couple minutes. You don't know, Comet, you don't know what ear rumbling is? It's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's a noise you can make in the inside of your ear, so you hear it, right? And it kind of sounds like a rumbling. Sure, no, chat. Somebody else can somebody else in the chat explain to Comet what ear rumbling is? Like, that's the best way I can explain it. I'm really like, I think something like 30% of the population cannot do it. All right, let me see. I should have. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna keep that video that I played. I'm gonna keep the video that I played, and then when I step away, I'm just gonna keep playing it. So we're actually gonna watch that video. Okay, shorts, or yeah, videos. Okay.
I think we're landing in Narvik.
Be right back.
Half hour, so it's it still gets me every time to see the sun setting at 2 in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. This is going to be crazy. I can't wait. Alright, I gotta get the confirmation number for the taxi that I'm going to be taking actually into Narvik. We're like 35 miles outside of Narvik, or is it 35 kilometers? I can't remember. The point is we're not close to the town. All right. Ooh, it is cold. Oh, I love it. God damn, I love it. I don't know why, but I do. But we're gonna go back inside now. Actually, now we'll walk down. Nah, we'll go back inside. I have to get my other bag, and then I found a cab driver, so it's nice. So I took one of my bags. Rule of thumb, even if you think you trust a person, keep the bag that has your passport with you, kind of at all times. At all times. I've known YouTubers who left their bags on questionable buses in the middle of Africa, and lo and behold, they got stolen. Oh my God.
20 minutes later, this is where my bag was. Have you noticed that something has changed? It's no longer there.
So just keep your bag with you. Even in Norway, you can't be too careful. All right, let's wait for my bag. For my big bag. Because another tidbit about traveling, have a very distinguishable bag. There it is. See it? Yeah. You see people with varying different levels of coats and jackets and things, and you know, some people are just like literally in just like a t-shirt and a jacket, and other people have more than I do. All right, let's go find our guy. He was out here. Hopefully he hasn't left with my smaller bag. There's some good stuff in there. I got the DJI camera I hate as opposed to this one, which I'm using, but it's all right. It's all right. Okay. I love it how you can see your breath through it when you breathe out your nose. That's how you know it's cold. That's a good cold. This is a good cold. As long as it's still, it's very, very tolerable. Here we are. Are you from here? Are you from Narvik?
Yes.
Yeah? So a question, I have visited a few places that go into a polar night.
Yeah.
I'm curious, for you, what do you find the most difficult to get through, the polar night or the polar day? Like night, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm here because I went to see the polar sunrise, I guess you would call it, you know, the first sunrise of the season, which I think is in a few days.
Well, it depends where you go. In Narvik, it's next month.
It's next month?
Yeah, 7th of February.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I plan this wrong? Because no, I swear to God it said January 7th.
No, February 7th.
Because Tromsø, they get the sun back. Well, maybe we're talking about the same thing, because I know in Tromsø, I think it's like January 15th when the sun comes back, but it doesn't come downtown until like February 1st or something.
Yeah.
So is that the same case here?
Well, it doesn't come down until this to the city until February 17th.
So
You will probably be able to see it from the mountain somewhere. In
okay,
January, yeah.
that was going to be my next question. Is there so because meteorologically speaking, it does come back on the 7th of January.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if there's anywhere downtown, or not downtown, but anywhere in the area to go see it.
Well, you have to be on top of a mountain.
Yeah. So are there any mountains you can drive to the top of
Yes.
this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, like you can go on the road to Sweden.
Oh.
Because that's so high up on the mountain, and then you should be able to see it when it's over on the horizon.
All right, that's what I'm gonna try and do then. Because I'm doing it here in Narvik, and then I'm gonna go to Tromsø and stay there for the sunrise. Try it, and then I'm going to Longyearbyen and I'm staying there for the.
All right, how you doing, boys? I'm back. I think getting up and moving around helped whatever weird head thing I had going on. I was weird. Felt like I was high. Felt like, but not a good high. Like a what did I just do? I don't want to do like why? Oh, when will this end kind of a high? You ever had like, I'm not recommending. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. But if you do, or if you ever have, you ever have like one of those highs, or like even when you're drunk, sometimes that happens where you're just like, okay, I don't want to be drunk anymore. I'm kind of tired of being drunk. Okay, I don't want to be drunk anymore. And then eventually you're not drunk anymore. But that's what that felt like. It felt like I had done some drug, and then I was like, all right, I don't want to feel the effects of this drug anymore. I don't want to feel the effects of this drug anymore. I don't know. It was weird. Okay, so let's stay on target. I wish Not Sure was here, because Not Sure is very good at like keeping me focused, because I have a lot of trouble focusing. Okay. Let's put some music in the background because I need another thing to distract me. Just making sure my wife has not. All right, cool. I wanted to watch this video really quick. Let me do it because this talks about the best programming languages to learn, or it's a short, so it's really quick. I saw it and I was like, I want to save this for the stream because I want to react for this on the stream. I want to react to this on the stream. Now, if you don't know, this person here is Bjarn. Oh, stop. Bjarn. I forget his last name, but if you let me find it. Just bear with me. Bjarne Stroup is his name. He is the author of C++. He wrote C++ way back in the day. He was a C programmer, and then he was like, I think he took it wasn't Lisp, but there was another language that he really liked, and he was like, I wish I could do those things in C#, or I'm sorry, in C++. And so hence he wrote C++ and he was talking about things like object-oriented programming, which at that time had been around for a while, but obviously it wasn't in the C++ world. And then I found the other thing I wanted to show you. So here is a picture of me with this same gentleman here, Bjarne Strauss, whatever. But yeah, there's me. I met him. So actually, back in like 2019, I went to a C++ conference and I met this guy, Bjarne, and I got a picture. But there's a guy between me and him, and I was so pissed off because it was supposed to be my picture with Bjarne. He's like, oh, hey. So then this was in 2023, I went back to the conference, and of course, he is the creator of C++. So he attended, because this is like there's several C++ conferences every year, but this is like the C++ conference. This is the biggest one. And so I went back. I would say a good portion of me went back just to get this picture with Bjarne Stroup. Bjarne Stroup. I have no idea how to pronounce his last name. He is Danish, I believe. I believe Danish. Nice guy, but obvious. I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, but he's obviously a computer guy. I mean, like he's kind of, you know, and do you know what I mean? Like he's because I think us programmers, I think a lot of us are on the spectrum. I mean, everybody's on the spectrum, but there's like there's a certain cadence with which some programmers carry themselves, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, no, that guy's a developer. Yeah, I can tell just by the way he walks and talks. That guy is a developer. He was very much that. He was very much like, oh, yep, no, that guy's a programmer, because he probably just says things to hurt people's feelings. No, he says things that hurt people's feelings, but he didn't really mean to hurt the people's feelings. He's just saying what he thinks or what's true. And I think that's a case with a lot of programmers. They there's I think in some cases there's a lack of emotional intelligence, but I met Bjorn for like 2 minutes, so I'm talking out my ass. But let's see what languages he thinks are the best. And I wanted to react to this. Let's go.
If they knew only one language.
Okay, I'm gonna start this over because I was talking and I can't hear it that well. So let's start that over. Let's increase the volume. Let's see what languages Bjorn Straub thinks are the best.
Nobody should call himself a professional if they knew only one language.
That's true. Nobody should call themselves a professional programmer if they only know one language. That's absolutely true. Because you have people, like, I think one of the worst things that's happening right now, I mean, let's pretend AI doesn't exist, but one of the worst things that's happening right now, if you're taking a programming course or you're taking a programming program in college, right? You want to like get a comp sci degree because you want to be a programmer. I think one of the worst things that colleges can do is start people on something like Python or JavaScript. And I think that that's what a lot of people are starting on, but that is horrible because the JavaScript and Python, they create opportunity to create bad habits. And these are habits that when you try to put them onto C++, like if you learn JavaScript in college and like you did like 2 years of JavaScript programming, like because you took many courses and it was mostly JavaScript influence, and then you want to go over to C++, there's all these fundamental concepts that you just do not learn in JavaScript because they don't exist. And why do they not exist? It's not because they're not there. Oh, those concepts are still there. It's just that they're handled at a lower level. So that's part of what makes JavaScript easy to use, right? You don't have to necessarily declare every variable. You can use one type as another type without any kind of type of cast. Things like these habits that like you can do in JavaScript and then you try to do them in C++. And you see this all the time. You see people saying, this is stupid. Why do I have to declare a variable? Because they started in JavaScript and now they're trying to do something in C++ or C or whatever it is. And which is a much stricter language, and they lack the foundation required to understand why it's best that you do it that way. So I don't know, and that's why you need to learn multiple languages. And I really think if you want to start programming, unless you want to be a web developer, then sure, go start learning JavaScript and that shit. But even then, I still think you should learn C++ or C or I guess to a lesser extent like Java or C#, but you really should learn C or C++, or nowadays maybe even Rust, because they create this foundation that's going to like if you learn how the bedrock works, then everything above it will be easier to understand. But what's happening today is you're learning what's above, like you're learning these languages up here, and you know nothing about the bedrock. And that's why you get into these situations of like, well, why do I have to declare a variable? It's stupid. And I was like, okay, whatever. We got a couple of chats. Bro sounds like he got poisoned. I did. It sounded like I got poisoned, man. I don't know what the heck was going on there. At what point in coding you go, who wrote this shit, only to realize it was you who wrote it? Because I had that moment multiple times. That's happened to me lots of times. I would say it doesn't happen so much anymore, and not because I'm not writing shit, but it's mostly because source control. And I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you know, but it like I have my editor set up so that all the commits are like inline, so I can immediately see who wrote what. But what you're explaining, Mr. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. I think that's Japanese. Is that Japanese? Yeah, it's Japanese. I'm pretty sure. But Yeah, no, that happens often. That happens a lot. You know, what idiot wrote this? Oh, that idiot was me. Stellum says, whoa, hello. Well, hello there, Stellum. Comet says, my secondary school started me with JavaScript, I think. That is such a disservice to people that want to learn to program. It really is. It is a disservice to people that want to learn to program. Okay. Bro, my high school taught me Turbo Pascal. You must be old. You must be really old, because I learned Turbo Pascal too. But my first serious programming project was in the 90s with Turbo Pascal. And this was I talked about this yesterday, but it was like a little utility for BBSs that updated network configuration files. And I wrote that in Pascal, and then people, in order to register it, they had to literally send a physical letter with a check and physically there. And then I would create a compiled version of it, and then I would put it on a physical disk and mail it back to them. The 90s. Those were the good old days. Bro, my high school taught me Turbo Pascal. And then he says, I don't know why. What the fuck is Turbo Pascal? So the programming language is Pascal. All right. Pascal has been around for a long time. I don't know that it's really used these days, but it was an old language. Turbo Pascal was the IDE, was the editor for it. Was an editor. It was one of many editors for Pascal. And so it was written by this company. Okay, I'm going to nerd out, but it was written by the Turbo Pascal. You also had Turbo C++, or maybe it was just Turbo C. And then eventually, so this company was called Borland. Borland? Yeah, Borland. They wrote Turbo Pascal, they wrote Turbo C++, and then eventually they wrote another language called Delphi. And Delphi was Delphi, but basically that language was kind of the, if you want to write Windows programs in Pascal, that's Delphi, essentially. And I think Delphi is still used today somewhere. I'm not sure where. Is the programming language Delphi still used today? Let's see, I'm just curious. Yes, Delphi is still used today, though its popularity has waned compared to its peak in the 1990s. Yes, it was very popular in the 1990s. It remains relevant in legacy systems, rapid application developer. Delphi's strength in building Windows desktop applications with its Visual Component Library and FireMonkey framework keeps it in use for developers who need quick native GUI applications. That seems like a stretch. I think it sounds like AI is blowing smoke up Borland's ass. But does the company Borland still develop Delphi? So back in the 90s, when I learned Turbo Pascal, when I learned Pascal, and then I was working in I was working in Turbo Pascal, the IDE. My dream was to go work for Borland and to work on their compiler. And then eventually my dream became, okay, I want to go work for Microsoft and I want to work on their compiler. I would love to be a compiler engineer, but dreams are dreams. No, Borland no longer develops Delphi. The development of Delphi was handed over to CodeGear, a division created by Borland in 2006. In 2008, CodeGear was acquired by Embarcadero Technologies, which has since been responsible for developing and maintaining Delphi. Borland itself was acquired by Micro Focus in 2009 and ceased to exist as an independent entity. Embarcadero continues to release updates for Delphi with the latest being March 12.3. Okay, I'm curious now. Super curious. Embarcadero. What is my mother doing? So just to kind of, do a little trip down memory lane. So I'm going to look up, yeah, this is it down there. The ID was right down there on the right. So this was, and I was telling my daughter about this because I'm pretty sure, oh, come on. So yeah, this is what Borland, that's a terrible screenshot. I was telling my daughter about this. My daughter is also a programmer, and I was saying how, like, you know, you had to. I don't even remember if there was an undo in Turbo Pascal, at least in the early versions. I don't remember. And this whole GUI that you see with like this menu up top, like every program these days has, the original version of Turbo Pascal, which I think I started on 3.0, it didn't have any of these menus. It was just a console. It was literally just a console, and you had to like, it was, think of VI. That's kind of what the early versions of Turbo Pascal were. That's kind of how you wrote your program, manipulated it, ran it, and all that. So, yep. Razman is in the house. What Unity tool are you trying to replace with Pascal code because it has a better performance? Well, see, Turbo Pascal is rare because it's a singleton. The entire language is a singleton. So, you know, it's actually. Yeah, it's actually a singleton scriptable object. It's amazing. No, I'm messing with you guys. Like we're not doing anything with Turbo Pascal. Okay, I want to react to this video. Let's get back on topic.
And 5 is a good number for languages to know reasonably well.
I agree with that. 5 is a good number to know. Okay, so the question, could I say that I know 5 languages reasonably well? C++, C++, C#, Python. What else do I work in? Like, I'm trying to think of what else I work in. I mean, I kind of avoid Java. JavaScript, I know JavaScript reasonably well. And then the 5th one, I could say Perl, but it's been a long time since I've done any Perl programming. Perl might be one. Yeah, we'll stick with that. I think that's about. What about you guys? What about like Razman or anybody else that's like a programmer? Like, what 5 languages would you say you if you had to say what 5 languages you know reasonably well? What languages are you choosing? Let's go.
Let's see, C++, of course.
Well, duh. Yeah, I mean, this is the author of C++, so of course he's going to say C++. Java. Okay. It's I guess the main reason you want to learn Java is because it's used so much. Like it's used all over the place. Personally, I hate Java. I can't stand Java. Do I know it reasonably well? No, I don't, because I kind of avoid it. I don't like it. But that might be changing because there's like some project at my day job that's kind of like I'm not completely convinced that my developer is actually working on it. Anyway, so I might have to do some work stuff, and it's all in Java, so I might end up doing some work in Java. But if you learn one programming language, a lot of the concepts you're learning are applicable to every language. So to some extent, the programming language itself is secondary. Not always, but sometimes it is kind of secondary to the overall concept of knowing how to program. Let's continue. Python. Yeah, I think I used to snub my nose at Python, but then we did some integration stuff at my day job, and we had these integration scripts. So a lot of this is used, like Lua is used a lot to integrate kind of dynamic content into a more static process, and so we did, but we didn't want to use Lua because Lua is there's another language I know, Lua, but Lua is very it's weird, right? Because it was mostly designed for like game development. Not that you're going to write a game in Lua, but you're kind of going to write a game in Lua because you're going to have Lua scripts that manipulate the objects inside your game and do other stuff. But the way, like for example, and I've talked about this before, the way it works in Lua. Like, let's say you just have a variable and you want to say var, or forget what it is in Lua. I think it would be local, and then X is your variable name equals hello, right? And hello is in quotations. What Lua will do behind the scenes is because they want to be optimized. So essentially what they'll do is now you've created this variable with the string hello. It will look in a table that it keeps internally of all the strings that are in memory, that it has in memory. It'll look at all of them and it'll be like, okay, do I have a hello? oh, here's another variable that has the content hello. So I'm going to have my variable create a reference to that. And now if I want to modify one, then I have to copy it and create another, like it's optimized for memory usage, but it's not necessarily optimized for performance, at least in terms of string string manipulation. So when we did these integrations at work, I knew this about Lua. I knew like Lua's not the best, at least for the way that we're using Lua. Damn, I'm getting passionate. But then so then that's when we decided, okay, well, let's do Python. Let's do these integration scripts in Python. And I started messing around with Python, and I gained a lot of respect for the language, a lot of respect for Python. I like it. I think it's a great tool. And I've talked about the other project that I want to work on, that were like the file sharing project. And I think if I was going to write the GUI for that, it would either be Python or TypeScript. Anyway, moving on.
And if you know those, you can't help know sort of a little bit about Ruby and JavaScript. If you know.
So he mentioned Ruby, which I've never used Ruby. Like, we use it at work for platform stuff, for like setting things up and like, you know, automating the task of like setting up a new server and like all that. I know we use Ruby to some extent. I have no interest in learning Ruby, and I think part of the problem with that is just simply the name. And then he kind of glosses over JavaScript, which I think JavaScript is I think JavaScript deserves a little more respect on Bjarne's list here, because JavaScript is a wonderful language if you have learned something before it. JavaScript is a terrible first language. It is a horrible first language. But oh, come on. No. Yeah. What's that? I'm just gonna get some potatoes. You don't need to serve me. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. You know, mothers. They're mothers. Okay, be right back. Oh, wait, where's the video? God damn it. For the sunrise.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
yeah. I'm excited. I like the polar night. I've asked a few people that question, and they all say a lot. Well, actually, it's like 50-50. Because a lot of people, they say that when the sun is up all the time, that it's hard to sleep, and you always feel like you missed something.
I don't find it hard to sleep at all. No, I mean, we have
Curtains, yeah.
blacked out.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's not hard to sleep. This time of year is the most depressive time for me. No, it's cold, it's dark, it's wet, it's snowy,
Well, sounds great. Yeah.
we have great ski slopes in Narvik. A lot of kids like it.
Yeah.
But for me, I like to sit out in the summer, sit out and have something good to drink, you know, just be outside the house, do something around the house, or
Yeah.
but now you can't, you have to stay inside because it's way too cold. So that's, I don't know, I just find it a bit feel a little bit trapped, to be honest.
I can see that. So what should I, besides the sunrise, which apparently is in February, but besides that,
all right.
What
I'm back, boys.
That's right, my mother, stubborn woman. I did ask her to make me eggs, but oh my gosh, she's a stubborn woman. And she's like in so much pain. And I'm like, well, why did you make the eggs? And she's like, well, you asked. I'm like, but Mom, you're in pain. I asked if you could when you feel better. Yeah, she made them. Mothers. Okay. So that's my reaction to Bjorn Strauss. I don't know.
JavaScript. If you knew either 5 of the ones I said, you would actually know the others. Nobody should.
And so that last statement he said, like, if you know one of the 5, then you actually know the others. It's very true. I think it's very true. But actually, no, it's not. Because if you know JavaScript, you don't know C++. But if you know C++, you know JavaScript. And I don't mean like you know inside and out kind of thing. It's just, it's more of a, let me rephrase it like this. If you know C++, you're going to have an easier time learning JavaScript than someone who knows JavaScript and then wants to learn C++. That person's going to struggle. If all you know is JavaScript and you want to learn C++, you're going to struggle. Other way around, you'll be fine. All right. I got very distracted and now I have breakfast. Got some messages here. Why do you like JavaScript over Java? Have you ever used Java? Java's terrible. No. So my main issue with Java, if Java was primarily used in the browser, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. However, it's not. It tries to make itself like a desktop/server programming language. If you want to write, and I know there's like Apache, especially like a ton of Apache tools are all Java. They're all Java. But Java just feels heavy. It is so heavy. I remember, so I was using CLion a while back because I'm on Mac. I do most of my work on Mac. I know that mostly when I stream, I'm streaming on Windows, but most of my day is spent on Mac. And so I was looking for a decent C++ compiler or C++ IDE for Mac. And I came across CLion. And CLion, it's written by, I forget the name, but they're the same company that, oh, come on, what's the name? They write the main Java IDE as well. Come on, you guys know this. I forget. Who writes it? JetBrains, yes. So anyway, I was like, CLion's really good. Like CLion's really good. But then I noticed that it would start to eat up memory. It would start to eat it up. And it's just heavy. Suddenly it became unusable. And then I contacted their support because I wanted to buy it. And I contacted their support and they're like, oh, well, edit these like they sent me like a couple of settings in some configuration file to edit, basically limiting how much memory Java can take up. And like that kind of shit bugs me. Java, it feels like the garbage collection in Java is antiquated to some extent or it needs a major lift. But since Java is so ingrained in so many processes, it's a very scary change, right? Because if you don't want to break an airline controller, you don't want to break some hardware in a hospital, things like that. So it's so ingrained, and so I feel like they struggle to kind of do rewrites or refactors or things like that. Java is just so heavy. It's so heavy. JavaScript, heavy. JavaScript runs in a browser. JavaScript is not over there trying. You're not using JavaScript if you need very, very good performance. Like if you need like system critical performance, you're probably not using JavaScript. With JavaScript, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting when you use JavaScript. Java tries to be this desktop server software and it fucking sucks. So many times at work have customers complained because there's not enough memory for this, and this. And we go and we look and it's the Java processes that are running on the box. It's not my C++ process. No, because we are very strict about our memory. We are very purposeful with our memory usage and we force ourselves to clean up, and it makes me so angry but they always point to me, right? Or not to me personally, but to me, like my team, because our process runs on a server, and then that's my company's process. That's a C++ process. And then you have all these helper processes that are kind of helping it. And that's not mine. That's Java stuff. And like 9 times out of 10, like they'll be like, oh, your widget spinner is it's operating very slowly. And then I go and I look, and we'll look, and it's like, no, the widget spinner is fine. It's fucking RabbitMQ that's eating everything up, or it's fucking like some fucking Java process that's eating up all the memory. Java is horrible. It is a horrible, heavy language. So I don't know. I do not understand why people continue to use Java, but to each their own. But like I said, at work, I might have to kind of step in on a project which is in Java, but that's okay, because again, since I know these other languages, I think probably jumping in and being productive in Java will not be super difficult. Now, I will want somebody that's more senior than me in terms of Java. I will want somebody who has more experience in Java to look at my code to make sure I'm not doing something stupid, something that is very specific to the language itself. Those kind of things I'm not going to know. And that's why I would need a senior person to look at me like, oh no, actually in Java, you need to do this instead of doing this. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, so that's why. My set is, so Razman says C#, Java, C++, JavaScript in that order. Okay, nice. Yeah, Java. Well, get rid of that Java. No, I'm kidding. Matthew's in the house. Java was my first language to make Android apps. As much as I dislike Java, I would say that Java is fine for a first language. It's not as good as like C, C++, or Rust. Actually, doesn't Rust have some type of garbage collection? I can't remember. I know it has pointer safety. You're not going to dereference bad shit in Rust. But I don't know if it has garbage collection. But what I was saying is Java is not a bad. It's not the worst choice for a first language, because you like something as simple as having to declare a variable, which does not exist in languages like Python or JavaScript. So having to declare something, and then so you want a language where you have to declare a variable, right? If your first language, you don't have to declare a variable, you're going to go to another language where you do have to declare a variable, and you're like, oh, that's stupid. Like, why do I have to do that? Why, like, oh, you already know what it is. I'm just using it there. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. Shouldn't work like that. So Java as a first language is not terrible, because it will give you some good habits. But so Java as a first language is not terrible, but Java as a language is terrible. Comment says, create my Frisk, an engine for Undertale uses Lua. Yeah, a lot of games use Lua. I've used Lua. So I have a game that I started writing a long time ago, and then of course kind of abandoned. Where is it? But so I don't know if I've talked about this, TTVG, I think. So this game is a troll, essentially. It's me trolling somebody. And the interesting thing about this game is, like, for a C++, like at the time when I did this was a long time ago, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. But at the time, this was using like new C++ stuff. And so I don't want to say it was cutting edge, but it was just using like the latest kind of offerings that the language had to offer. And so I was using like advanced techniques in this. Like I have a whole thing on Lua integration, source somewhere around here. But I did Lua integration into the game so that you could, because I was working with another guy who wanted to like create content for the game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to create this Lua interface for you, and you can just use that. And he did. He went crazy with it. This game was just a big troll. But the funny thing about this game was, this is one of the better examples of me having an organized program, having in a very disciplined program as well, and also doing some advanced techniques like Lua integration, which I would say, like, writing Lua integration into your program, or writing integration of any language into your program, it's not an easy task. It's definitely a like mid-level to senior level task. But this project, so I was thinking about this project, like, it's a good showcase of what I can do in C++, and something that I would love to add to my resume. The problem is that the entire basis of the game is that the character is looking for his magic vagina, and he has to go and sell drugs and do certain favors for other, and so it's like the content of the game itself is terrible. It's a big troll. So obviously I don't want to like, oh hey Mr. Prospective Employer, look at this game where a homeless guy blows another guy so he can get some money to buy some weed. Like no. I can't do that. So it was bad. But actually I was thinking of turning this into an engine, because the way I did this in a way where it's very modular and you can try to put the content on top of it. But anyway. But yeah, the point of that is that Lua is very popular for game development, because what we were doing and why I was complaining about is we're doing like string manipulation, string searching, and that's not what Lua is necessarily designed for. It's designed for functional, to if this, do this, if that, do this, but it's not designed for, here's a string, search it so that you can find this keyword. Like, no, it's not designed for that. Razman says, last semester in our software testing class, we had a cucumber exercise. I was the only one in my class who identified that it was JavaScript code and knew how to locate the configuration file and run the code. So yes, JavaScript can definitely be a struggle for beginners. Oh yeah, no, any language is going to be a struggle for beginner. But my point was that JavaScript is a bad first language because it will create bad habits. It will gloss over fundamentals. Are you okay? I heard my mom make a noise, so I'll be right back. Are you all right? Oh, I thought you were crying or something. You're laughing? All right. No, I heard my mom like I said, it sounded like she was crying, but she was actually laughing. But JavaScript, it glosses over a lot of fundamentals that I believe every programmer should know. Riseman says Eclipse IntelliJ? Yeah, same company. Hey, can I do weight heavy? Can I do weights with JavaScript? Java is a very heavy language. And what I mean by that, when you're writing code, how close are you to the hardware? So when you write, instructions are given to your CPU in a binary language, right? And then we have assembly, which is kind of like a textual representation of that language that gets sent to the CPU, right? So every little instruction is just a byte, and you pass the parameters, but it's like byte per byte is going to the CPU, or instruction per instruction is exactly how it is being sent to the CPU. And now with a compiled language like C, C++, Rust, you write your code in that language, and then the compiler translates that to the assembly. So C++ is like one layer away from the CPU, right? Because it's just C++ language, and actually you can actually embed assembly code into your C++ files. I think you can do that in a lot of languages actually, but I'm pretty sure you can do it in Rust as well. But the point is that C++, Rust, they are very close to the CPU. They're very light because the code you write is essentially, it's going to look like the code that the CPU is seeing. Now, with something like Java, they kind of use a middleman, right? Because Java's whole thing back in the day was like write once, run anywhere, which kind of worked. And so Java and C# works the same way, where it gets compiled to bytecode, and then you have an engine that takes the bytecode and then basically translates it to actual CPU instructions on the computer you're actually running. So that's another layer. So that's, that's not an interpreted language. I forget, there's a name for it, but whatever. Java, so it's very heavy. Java's very heavy because it has that additional layer. C# does as well. But Java, I don't know what they did. They just done it horribly. I mean, maybe it's the JVM. I don't know, but it is so, it just feels so sluggish and heavy. Let me show you what the hell is the name of that program. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer. No, but there is a tool. There is a tool that I was using for Kafka, right? There's like a Kafka client tool where you can just kind of connect to a Kafka cluster and you can kind of look at the messages coming through and send your own if you need to. And the best client I found, the best test client I found was this Java program. And it was fucking awful. It was terrible because it was this GUI program, and that's another thing. Like as soon as you load a program that is written in Java, you just by looking at it, you can tell it's written in Java, which is I'm you know, this is a bad taste in my mouth. All right. God damn it. We're going to work, boys. Razman says she was crying because her son is unable to implement a singleton in Unity. Talk Shack says, interesting stuff, subbed. Thank you. Thank you for the sub. Be sure to click and subscribe. And check out my my travel channel, Addy Goes Places. I was getting ready to say check out my eating channel because I'm eating. All right. Ugh. Is it Razman? Is it a holiday up there in Canada today? I mean, it would be a little weird, but maybe it is. I know that at work, I'm pretty sure the Canadian people, the people in Canada that work at my company, I'm pretty sure they're off today. But even if they're not off, they're off because the American people are off. Let me finish up my breakfast. We'll get back to it. I should go on a walk, but I'll do that later. Is not holiday here. We are not weird. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. This goes back to, I think I asked this question before, but there's a couple of new people in the stream. Would you, if you have a 3-day weekend, would you rather have the Friday off or the Monday off? If you had to choose. I'm going to put it up for a poll. Let's see. Given a 3-day weekend, would you rather have Friday or Monday off? Oh wait, did I put Friday twice? No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah. So we talked about I know we've talked about this before, but definitely Monday every time. I'm taking Monday off every day, every time. Given the choice, Monday. And we talked about this before, but the reason being that Friday is already like a day off, right? Because everybody goes into work on Friday, or they sign on for work, and you're like, yeah, it's Friday. No, it's gonna be an easy day. Like not a lot, probably no meetings on Friday. You might tap out a little early, but you feel good too because it's Friday. The weekend's coming. Like, yeah, it's Friday. Woo 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 woo. And also, if you have Monday off, you're just like, oh, this is a Friday of a 3-day weekend. Even better. Woo woo woo. So that's why I say Monday. Razman says, actually, I'm taking my statistics class at the moment. Okay. Tax Shack says, but won't Tuesday become the new Monday? Yes, but it's already Tuesday. Right? I mean, Tuesday's the new Monday, sure, but it's still Tuesday. And that, so it's practically the day after tomorrow is Friday. Not quite, but practically, almost. The day after tomorrow's tomorrow is Friday. No. I take Monday off every time. Every time, man. Wow. 4 votes. They're all Monday. Matthew says, my thoughts too. Most people are back to work Monday, so I can laugh at them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every Friday, if you have to work on Friday, it's still like I enjoy Fridays, right? Like, cause they're fun, because most people are pretty lax, and like, if there's anything like really like, yeah, you really should respond to this ticket, but yeah, just do it on Monday. Just we'll wait till Monday. There's a lot of that, like, nah, it's already Friday. You know, it's already 11 o'clock on Friday, so we're not going to get this done today. So let's just wait till Monday. There's a lot of that going on Friday. So yet another reason. Fridays are awesome. I'm also a fan of Thursdays. I don't know. I'm trying to finish my breakfast. My mom made these eggs. Oh, you know, there's nothing better than mom's cooking. I'm not telling you hey, to you, there's nothing better than my mom's cooking. No, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying. All right. What were we doing? Why do I have 3 pull requests on this? Oh, these are old. These are all from 2022. I had a lot of fun working on this game, but again, I more built a game engine than I built a game. It was more, to me, it was more fun building the game engine. And I did find it interesting because when I started using Unity, a lot of the patterns that they use in Unity were like the same thing that I was using in what I built. But of course, those are things that are just, that's naturally how these things should be, right? There's a natural rhythm to how things are structured. And I think if you can find those rhythms, yeah. Comment says making a game is what you are doing. What you were doing. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to be making a game now. I'm just eating my breakfast right now, and then I'm thinking like, man, I would like to go on a walk. I'll do that. Well, we're gonna program for a couple minutes. And Matthew's over in England, so I know it's not a holiday there. So I don't know what my mother is watching. Wait a minute. Walk stream for real. I don't think anybody wants to see me streaming while I'm walking. So Matthew, I added a day-night cycle to the game because I could. I added a day-night cycle to another one. I mean, to another game, and I just brought it over. So I spent 3 hours last night trying to fix a bug that didn't exist. My code worked perfectly. The issue was somewhere else. I love game development. That's development in general, dude. Like, so many times I've been working on something like, why the fuck doesn't that work? Like, why is it doing X instead of Y? And I'm like debugging, I'm tracing, I'm like, it still keeps doing X instead of Y. What is going on? And then you kind of like back up for a second and you look, I'm like, oh, that's because in the configuration file, I have it set to do X instead of Y. And then you just change the configuration file and now it does Y. Like that happens. Like that's happened to me a number of times, and I'm sure it will happen to me a number of times in the future too. Because you get so laser focused on something and you can't help it. Like it's very difficult to like step back from it. But you get so laser focused on it, you're just looking at this, right? You're just looking at this while the problem is actually over here. But you're just looking at this. You're not looking over there. And so that happens a lot. It's very yeah, it happens. All right, almost done with my breakfast. Man, I'm gonna have ask my mom to make some more eggs. Those are delicious. All right. What is your opinion on people using AI a lot to code these days? Things can be shipped fast, but kind of messy, right? Do you have a feeling using AI that it could have been much simpler if I did it? So I think AI is an excellent tool. I do think it could present a problem, Onion, because I think it's an excellent tool for experienced programmers. And because a lot of people, and I've told this story too, my brother-in-law, I love him dearly, great guy. He's not a programmer. I mean, he's just not. I mean, he didn't want to be. He never wanted to be a programmer. I think he does like corporate sales, something like that. But he really wanted to write a script that was like getting prices of some cryptocurrencies, of like shit coins, and like looking for certain dives or increases, and then executing trades just kind of automatically. And so he goes down the AI path, and he just starts working with AI to do it. But AI, of course, AI doesn't get it right the first time. And so he'll run his program, and now he'll get these huge errors. He has no idea what the errors are. So of course he asks AI how to fix the error. And so essentially what he's doing is he's kind of programming, but not, it's like programming in the blind, right? Because like when we do that, like before AI, we write something, it breaks. So we have to go search on Google how to fix it. We see something else, and we try, and it breaks, and then we try something else and it breaks. So for beginners, or for people who, I don't know. I don't know. For like beginning programmers, it's going to be bad. I feel like you're going to have this shortage of quality developers in like 10 to 15, 20 years. But at the way things are going now, we might not even need developers at that point. Like if I'm being honest, in like 15 to 20 years, I think the job of programming is going to be very different. I think it's going to be probably people like asking that you're still going to need humans. But I think instead of like writing if statements, you're going to be writing more English statements to the AI. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think like I use AI every day, right? But I'm also very experienced, and I know when AI is giving me shit. Like I know when it's like what the hell, that doesn't make any sense. That's not going to work. Or the other thing is like when I use AI, it'll spit out a function, and I know enough to okay, well, I can't use that function verbatim, but I can modify it because instead of passing parameters, I got to use a singleton. See what I did there, Razman? So I know how to modify the code to suit my needs, and AI helps, AI spit it out. I know how to modify it as needed. Beginners aren't going to know that. I think there's going to be a real issue where people are going to be lazy. They're not really going to learn to program, or maybe they will. I don't know. But I will say the other thing, if you are a developer, if you are a professional programmer today and you're not using AI, then you probably will not have a job for very long. So this happened twice at work. I work closely with a few people, and one guy who's like my best work friend, right? Back in like 2021, 2022, when Copilot's like beta program came out, I signed up for it immediately. And I was telling him about it. I was like, this is awesome. This is like, it's like an Uber autocomplete, right? It's it was amazing. And he's just like, yeah, no, I just don't trust AI. He resisted AI. He resisted AI until about 4 months ago. He finally, when work was kind of like, hey, everybody, we bought Copilot subscriptions for all of our engineers. Now, I don't even use it because I already have my own. So I just continue using my own. But he finally starts to use it. And then he starts texting me like, oh my God, I asked AI to do this and it spit out the whole thing. And then it was able to work. Did you know that it will write an entire program if you just and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, dude, I've been fucking telling you about this for 3 fucking years. And now you're talking to me like you just discovered this great tool that everybody needs to know about. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, so that's him. And then literally 2 to 3 months later, the other guy that I work really closely with, he's like, he's working on some new project, and then he's like, no, I asked AI about doing this and this and this, and it was able to do that in like less than 30 seconds, and then I had something up, and I'm like, and again, it's the same thing. He's talking like he discovered some brand new tool, and he's like, you guys got to see this, and I'm just like, motherfucker, I've been telling you about this for 4 fucking years. Matthew says, I wrote a post about this vibe coding trend and why not to do it. I agree with Addy. It's a tool, not a replacement. Has to be used carefully for specific things. Yes. I'm really curious to see what the software development field is going to be like in 10 years, because you have people coming into like let's look at the young generations, like the 24, like people that are like 27 and younger, right? They're coming in, they're getting programming jobs, and they're using AI. And it's, well, actually that's about, okay, let's look at people that are in college now. So in 10 years, they're going to be getting, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, because it just feels like there is going to be a lack of senior developers. I feel like there's going to be a shortage of senior developers. You're going to get these vibe coders, which are junior engineers armed with AI. The vibe coders will have a kind of an idea of what they're doing. But but when you start getting into shit like, I need to profile this application, find out where it's sluggish, like what parts, and then I need to drill down on that code and need to start like you need, I don't know how to explain it, but that process, could it be automated? I guess, but it seems like it would be more automated with artificial general intelligence instead of the intelligence we have nowadays. So I don't know, man, like in 10 years, but like part of me is like, well, in 10 years, I'll be retired. So yeah, but not my problem. I don't know if I'll be retired in 10 years. I'll probably never retire, but I'll probably stop working full time within the next 10 years. Maybe. Addy is happy trigger AI. He will go to 10 AI prompt before hitting Unity docs. Fuck yeah, I will. Like, what's the, like, dude, you've heard me, maybe you haven't, but I have raged about help docs on this stream before. Documentation, 95% of the documentation for frameworks, for languages, for libraries, 95% of it is shit. It is shit, pure shit. And I will go to my grave saying that. There are a couple of exceptions. Qt, that's an exception. The Neil Lohman JSON library in C++, that's another exception. So there are exceptions, but for the most part, oh, absolute shit. Tax Shack says, it has made shipping a lot faster. Maybe you're talking about AI. With that comes a lot of overlooking, which it does. For example, things like basic auth used to take longer earlier, and now it's just done in 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful with AI. You have to look at it. You have to make sure it's not generating shit. And a vibe coder is not going to do that. A vibe coder is not going to be able to look at some code and be like, oh, yeah, this is going to run terribly. Or, oh, that's another thing. So a vibe coder, imagine like, just, I don't have a quick example, but one thing I know what I want to say. When I ask AI a question, it's always like, write a new file, pass this as a parameter, write a new file. So now you're going to have thousands and thousands of files, which happens. And I mean, that's not unusual. However, I don't think the AI is going to the AI does not have a concept as the project as a whole. And then therefore it's just very piecemeal, piece over here, piece over here, piece over here. And suddenly what do you have? Because now you have cross dependencies. And then this thing depends on this thing over here, but that depends on this thing. But oh, now you got to circle your, like suddenly you just have spaghetti code. So AI is very good for very pointed direction, very pointed, like I need to do this one specific thing. And then I, as the human, will worry about taking that one specific thing and putting it into my program as I need it. But vibe coders aren't going to do that. They're not going to know how to do that. And they're not going to know why they need to do that. There's going to be like, imagine the spaghetti code that's going to come from somebody who doesn't know how to program, but they know enough of how to use AI and kind of make things work. Like it's going to be terrible. And when you get spaghetti code, you get terrible performance. Let's see, where are we? Now it's just done, but it can't be trusted with everything. The way Gen Alpha is going, I don't think anything new is going to happen ever. I don't know. Like, I mean, when will have we reached, I don't think we've reached the AI plateau yet, but I do feel like I was thinking about this because when I went to RSAC, everything was AI. Every booth at the conference had AI this, AI that, AI up your ass, AI in your ears, AI, like everywhere. 5 years ago, it was cloud. When you went to RSAC 5 years ago, cloud, we're going to the cloud, the cloud, everything's in the cloud. You know, the Splunk cloud, the Palo Alto cloud, the Netscope cloud, like everything was cloud. And then before that, what was the technology buzz in like the early 2010s? I can't remember, but there was one. There's always like these buzzes. So I feel like we're probably like in the middle of this AI buzz, right? Where everything's AI. I think the next, mark my words, 5 to 10 years from now, maybe I'm going to lean more towards 5, but the next fad, quantum computing. That's going to be the next fad. Everything in 5 years. Because think about it, like how much do you hear about like the cloud these days? Like you still hear about it, right? It's still there, but companies aren't pushing cloud this, cloud that like they were 5 years ago. Now they're pushing all the AI shit. And I think within the next 5 years, it's going to be quantum computing. AI is still going to be there. It's still going to be used, but companies are going to be pushing quantum computing shit. Oh yeah, no, our product is safe from quantum attacks. Oh, and I think that's a big issue. Quantum attacks. Like as quantum computing becomes more prevalent and more accessible, there's going to be a big need to basically redo a lot of stuff in order to make things secure against quantum attacks. I know Google started this effort like 10 years ago, I believe, but I think I think that's where some companies are probably going to come up in the next 5 years to like make a lot of money. Quantum computing. Mark my words. Set a reminder in 5 years. If I'm still alive and you're still alive, contact me. Let me know and be like, yeah, you were right. Everything's quantum computing these days. Or you're an idiot. You didn't know what you were talking about in 2025, which is possibly true too. Tax Shack says, I'll be honest. I love such streams on YouTube, where people just sit and code what they love. Kind of rare to see these days. People are just after a certain moonshot and just create FOMO around it. Thank you. I'm going to take this as a compliment. Although I feel like I haven't coded. I haven't written any code. Hey, I do want to show Matthew and Razman what I did. Comment already saw it. Tax Shack, I don't know if you were here. Matthew says, I tried adding a dependency to my own library the other day. Even I struggled. It was some weird configuration. AI wouldn't have stood a chance. No, AI wouldn't have stood a chance. Yeah, no, I mean, like, and I know... The thing is like the amount of power that is required in order to give AI the context of here's my entire code base, like do something with it. It's a massive amount of computing. Now, quantum computers might undo a lot of that. So we'll see. Matthew says, I have AI popping up on my SMS app. Like, why do I need AI so I can say hi to my, oh my God, I know AI's every fucking where. Like WhatsApp. Oh, like, oh, you have AI this, AI that. Like, even my bank is like, welcome to Claude, your new AI assistant. And I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself. Like, seriously, just like, it makes me want to close my account. RIP, Matthew says, RIP SHA-256, right? Like, think about, like, if quantum computing becomes so prevalent, let's say it happened overnight. Like, let's say it happened tomorrow. Like, oh, no, yeah, everybody can get quantum computers. The entire internet would be fucked, right? That's how SSL works. It's like all of these, like, hashing, like everything, like it would just be so fucked. Your identity and your money would be stolen. Like, yeah, no, it's bad. Quantum computing is already growing in popularity. It won't be long now. Just look at the new state of matter Microsoft made. The new state of matter Microsoft made with. Just look at the new state of matter Microsoft made to make a CPU. Yeah, no, I mean, like that. That's, what was it? It was like called like the Sierra 1 or some shit like that. But yeah, I mean, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better and closer to where we have a quantum desktop computer sitting, and now in like 5 years, I'm sitting with a quantum desktop computer on my mom's porch, still working on this game. Like that's where we're headed. Okay, so I'm not really showcasing what I added because it takes a little while, but you know, here, here's what I added. I mean, guys are gonna be so impressed. Like Matthew's gonna be like, wow, like that's super impressive. Like Matthew's gonna be like, whoa, you're a Unity god, man. Like that's so cool. Whoa. I still need to fix the goddamn the goddamn state.
Freeze! You are under arrest.
Okay. Is it working? Yes, it's working. See, look at that. Look, we have a day-night cycle now. Oh, sun's gonna set. Good night, sun. Anyway, yeah. So I want to have. I think I still need to. I still need to like. I still need to figure out what this game is. Like, I have all these ideas, and I've shared a lot of these ideas with you guys, but I still need direction. And I think that's part of my problem is like at work, if a PM like has a roadmap, I like that. That's very good for me because now I have a focus, I have a goal, I know where I'm going. With projects that I have, sometimes that happens when I have like when I'm like all gung-ho about an idea. This, I'm not sure what the end state looks like. Like I have an idea of like you have to use your NPCs and your controls of the NPCs in order to escape. But I think we need more direction. I'm gonna go think on this while I walk. I'm gonna go walk. And I'll probably be back in a couple of hours. So if you guys are around, you don't have anything to do, I would love it if you join me. Be sure to click and subscribe, click the bell, because then you'll know that I'm live. But yeah, I want to get out and walk. I know we didn't do a lot. And maybe we'll do some more when I stream later on. Sound good? All right. Time to create a dependency map. It's time to create like a roadmap, honestly. Like that link you sent me a couple of weeks ago, that was pretty good. But that was more like it felt more, or at least what I saw of it, it felt more like an architectural tool as opposed to like what does this game do kind of tool. What do you think about blockchain and all the buzz around it? I know that was the thing. That was what was before cloud was, well, actually about at the same time as blockchain or crypto. Blockchain and all the buzz around. I know it's too big to ignore now in terms of crypto, but it still has a lot to prove. So I actually, just to show off, yeah, I wrote my own, where'd it go? I started writing my own cryptocurrency, which was a fun project. It was a lot of fun, but I just did it just to kind of learn, like right here, Ashcoin. I got pretty far with it too. It was a fun project. It was a really fun project, but I was having trouble getting transactions to work, and I kind of gave up on it. So what do I think about blockchain? I don't know. It's useful. it's useful for, you know, integrity of your data, for making sure data is not fucked with. Yeah, but I don't know that I have a strong opinion on it. I mean, I think it's very useful for things like what Bitcoin uses for ledgers, but that's another thing where quantum computing comes into the mainstream. We're fucked, right? Like, we're fucked because now we have all these public keys. All you need is a private key, and that's the whole thing. That is the entire basis of how public and private key works, or encryption works, because quantum computing, like, you know, they always say that like with a regular desktop computer, it would take like, you know, billions of years for your computer to find the private key of a public key. But with quantum computing, it's done. It could be done. So if you have a quantum computer that's able to just find all these private keys of these public keys, Bitcoin's going to tank. Like Bitcoin, every cryptocurrency in existence will tank. Actually, I think, is XRP resistant to, let's see, are there any crypto coins immune to quantum computing? While no cryptocurrency can guarantee complete immunity to quantum attacks forever, several are designed to be quantum resistant. This means they employ cryptographic methods thought to be secure against the types of attacks that a quantum computer that quantum computers are capable of. Okay. Yeah, because it's talking about how traditional cryptocurrencies like RSA, blah blah blah, like they're not going to work. Like the RSA algorithm. I learned about the RSA algorithm in math, and I don't know if you know how it works, but basically all it is that what makes it so secure is finding. You have to find two numbers that when multiplied together equal another number. And when you start talking about numbers that have hundreds of digits in them, finding the compositions of that number is extremely difficult. So difficult that it would take a desktop computer billions of years to do. However, a quantum computer could do it a lot faster. Anyway, but that's the entire way. That's all that encryption is based on. It's just being able to find the composition numbers of two prime numbers that would multiply together equal another number. That's all it is. Time to create a dependency map. What do you think about the blockchain? In my opinion, it's just another bubble. Great potential, but the whole crypto aspect is just not good. At least that's what I feel. I think the blockchain, I think that's a super clever idea. And it's a beautiful idea because it is super clever and it's simple. It's so simple. Just, yeah. Every block of data, just store a hash of the last block. But you got to make sure you include the hash of the last block and what you've hashed. I mean, it's a beautiful idea because it's so simple. And for some reason, I was reminded of the fast square root algorithm. If you don't know what that is, look that up. That's another, I don't know. It's another beautiful thing. Inverse square root algorithm. Fast inverse square root algorithm. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called, Matthew? Fast inverse square root. Anyway, all right, boys. I'll probably be back in a little bit. I want to go on a walk while I still have the energy and I'm still hyper. So, thanks for joining. And I'll see you in a couple hours. Most likely, I'll see you in a couple hours. All right, bye, guys. I said goodbye. All right. Goodbye, guys.